welcome back to a new video. This week is about character design. So we all have this one specific character, that one character that we all love to draw. We all love to draw all the time. Maybe it's one character, maybe it's more than two characters, maybe it's three characters, maybe it's even more than that. The meaning of this is that an original character is like a character that represents us. We draw the character to experience things that we wanted to, that we can. And the beautiful about an original character is that putting ourselves in a different world, putting ourselves in different stories that aren't real, that we really want to experience. That's the fun thing about original characters. It's like ourselves in a different world. Creating a character can be hard, and it can also be scary. What if no one cares? What if you post it online and then you experience that no one actually cares and maybe people will make fun of you? Well, these thoughts are like everything. These thoughts are in everyone's minds. Either if you're an adult, either if you're a child, either if you're a new beginner or a professional artist. You will always have this thought of, will people actually care for your character? Or will they make fun of it? Is it good enough? And all these thoughts, it's normal for that. Well, in this video, I'm sharing 5 art tips I usually use when creating a new character. It can be art tips or it can be thoughts. Some of the thoughts slash tips are some tips that are thoughts that I have used for many years, and some of them are just recently discovered. So let's get into the video. So the very first tip that I want to share in this video is to do not add too much details. You have often seen all these awesome game characters with a lot of details in games like Genshin Impact or Sun Wukong, and you definitely want to do that as well. Make a character with a lot of details. Well, let me tell you something, that will just ruin your passion for the character already at the start. For the first thing is the commitment. When you make an OC and you have to draw all those details over and over again, it can be very challenging to keep it consistent, because every time you have to do a new illustration, you have to do a new drawing, you have to draw all those details. And for an independent man, woman, it can be very tough to add all those details every single illustrations, because we think we have to add all those details. Yeah, because of that, the passion for the character will slowly disappear at some point. When you look at game characters, try to think about that the game characters are like designed in a program and then put it into a coding system, which saves all those details in different perspectives. So every time you see a new frame, it's like a new code running, because the character is already in that code and the details are already in there, and like everything is just stripped down in a code system. That thing isn't like when you draw. When you draw, it's something else. You have to add all those details hand by hand, and at some point it can just be so heavy, so challenging, so too much, that it just becomes so overwhelming, and it slowly just kills your passion for like the character, because you have to add all those details all the time. So keep it simple and don't add too much detail, unless you of course love to draw all those details and you love to like have your character very detailed. That brings us to what exactly is one specific detail. Like, if I can add too much detail, how do I add something? How do I even add something to the character? So that's like something many people think about. What can I add to a character if I can add too much detail? So when I say one thing, it can be one thing that means a lot to you in life, or it can be your favorite thing. Even a personality, it's a thing. When making a character, you have to think about, for me, it's like I always think about what's something that means a lot to me. And if I have like 4 different personalities, instead of adding all those 4 personalities into one character, I would like to like split these 4 personalities into 4 different characters. If I have a passion for this, and I have a passion for that, and I have a passion for those things, instead of like putting everything into one single character, I would like split all those passions into multiple characters, because adding too much to a character, even personalities, can actually also ruin a character. I also like to collect on things, and I also love so many things. So instead of like giving a person a gun, a sword, a shield or something, I would like try to split all those objects into multiple characters to like make multiple characters with those objects that I really like, instead of giving all those details into one specific character. But that's the way I want to do it. You can also add many details into a character if you really like to draw many details on a character. For me, I like to keep it simple, and I like to have simple things to a character. Not too much, not too little, just a little bit. So yeah. So that brings us to the second tip, and that's about meaning. That one important detail which make a character important to us. So what really makes a character feel personal is that one unique thing. That one unique thing that you add to your character, which just means or just gives you the passion, the love for the character. That one thing can either be invisible or it can be visible. So with invisible and visible, I mean it can either be personality, because a personality can sometimes means much to us or be very important to us, or it can be an object, it can be the clothes, it can be the style, it can be something on their body, it can be tattoos, some visible things, because visible things can also mean a lot to us. So adding something that truly means a lot to you can really make a character feel more important and feel more loved, not for others but for you. And that naturally makes you want to draw the character more and more, because you have this thing, you have this one specific detail that you just love to draw, you just love to see your character with it. So making a character with one specific object or thing is just so important for a character, in my opinion. A character isn't just a design, they actually mean something to us. They actually mean something to you. And remember that detail doesn't have to be visible, it can also be invisible. Not every single character have an object. Not every single character have tons of objects. Some characters can be very simple, but their personalities is what makes them them. And some characters can be completely cold-hearted, but the objects and the way they are, their magic, or the way the things they have on their body is what make them them. So remember, one unique object is what makes a good character. And if you want to keep the passion going, even though your character don't have much, just try to, maybe it can be the design. It can be the design of it. You really love the design of this character and you want to draw. A detail doesn't have to be visible, it doesn't have to be very detailed, it can also be simple. So yeah. So that brings us to the third tip, and that is your character doesn't stay the same forever. When I first made my very first character, I wanted her to look the same on exactly every single drawing. And that just brought me into an art block, because I was chasing for perfection. I was chasing for the perfect design. I wanted her to look the same every single time I drew her. And there's two reasons why this happens. For the first things first, is that your character isn't getting worse. You're getting better. As you draw more over time, you naturally start changing things. The eyes, the hair, the skin tone. Small details evolve, and that's not a bad thing. It just means you'll learn more and more. Small changes are improvements. Don't take it as a bad thing. Your character is just getting a more modern design. It's just getting updated, and you're just getting better. The second thing is your passion. Your passion changes as you grow and develop your interests and tastes. As you grow older, your passion for things, your interest for things, everything of that changes. And it happens naturally, and because it changes, you begin to change your own character. You don't see it because it's so many little details, but you're actually changing your character little by little. And it's not a bad thing, it's just your passion, your interest for things that gets different, and that just naturally affects the way you design your character. So if your character someday then begins to look different, think about it. It's not because you're getting worse at drawing, it's because your mindset and creativity evolves. So the first tips in this video is a tip that I recently discovered, that I recently begin to know about, and that is the skill to learn, add and subtract. Learning to add things and take things away. Sometimes our characters have so many elements, that means a lot to us, but too much can make the design feel messy or confusing, like it doesn't really make sense anymore. That's what you need to subtract. Remove certain elements and simplify the character. And what do you do with the details that you remove? You can use that to create a new character, like add it to a new character in the future. And think about a character with 5, let's take an example here. Think about a character with a cape, 5 different personality, magic powers, highly detailed shoes, armor, different hair colors, 2 different eyes, a robot arms, a robot leg, etc. All these things can quickly become overwhelming. And by simplifying your character, by taking things away, you can make the character look a little bit more simple but still the same character. Learn to take things away. And sometimes you can take too much away, but that doesn't make your character bad. That's actually just like makes your character simpler to draw for you. So learn to take things away sometimes, because sometimes we should end up adding too much to a character that we almost gets blindfolded in the design. We don't actually know what we're drawing anymore because there's so many details. So learning the skill to take things away, it's a very powerful skill, and it doesn't make your character a lot worse. It's like makes your character a little bit more simpler. Sometimes we take too much away, and therefore we can also add something back. If like we take 5 things away and like the character only have 1 thing left, we can try to add a little bit more to it. There's not so much of adding. There's not something like adding too much. The only time when you're actually adding too much is the time when you draw the character and you don't feel the passion for it anymore, and you get tired of drawing that character over and over again because it's so detailed. That's where you know there's so much on the character, there's too much on the character. So sometimes take things away, or sometimes add new things. So all these 4 tips brings us to the very last art advice in this video. The one single tip that means a lot to everyone, either if you're a character designer, a normal illustrator, manga artist, or whatever. This means something to everyone, and that is to do not feel ashamed of what you draw. Don't feel ashamed of your character. Your character is yours, and if you like how they look, draw them that way. No one gets to decide what's right and what's wrong for your design. There's no shame in creating a character if you don't want to draw them in a certain style or explore different ideas. Just do it. No one is even stopping you. Learn the mindset of not worrying too much about what others think. Your character reflects who you are, your taste, your ideas, and even things you might not know how to express in words. So yeah, do not give a damn about what others think about your character. Your character is what you're created. It's yours, and you decide how the character should look. If you like to draw the character with this certain detail, drawing with that certain detail. No one is stopping you. There's no one that have to decide what your character looks like. So remember that your character is your own. And yeah, those were 5 tips I think was important for character design. My approach might change over time, but for now, these are the ones that I stand by. I hope this video helps you create your own character, or at least give you some insight into how you want to approach your designs. So yeah. So I've actually been thinking about making a video where I talk about my own characters, but I don't know when that happens, and I want to know what you guys think. Should I make a video where I talk about my own specific characters? I don't know.